Hey guys, today I'm going to give you some tips on how to get thicker foam if you use a foam cannon to wash your car, your Tesla Model 3, or any car in general. So if you're interested, stay tuned. So there's a bunch of different things that can impact the thickness of the foam. And so I'm just going to go through them. Basically, the first one is going to be your pressure washer. So you've got to have the right PSI pressure washer in order to get that thick foam. You can't just pick one and then put the foam cannon on there and expect it to work. So basically, your pressure washer needs to be, well, okay. So basically, I have an electric pressure washer, which would make a lot of sense because I have a Tesla. So why would I want to get a gas pressure washer? Because that's kind of contradictory. And so basically, the electric pressure washers have not as much power as the gas ones because obviously the gas one has a motor, so it can produce more power. So basically, when you're looking at these things, I mean, I would basically just recommend at this point getting an electric. Don't bother with the gas one. You don't need it. And it's not good for the environment. So when you're looking for electric pressure washers, you want to get one that's between 1800 and 2500 PSI. That's probably, 2500 is probably the range. You probably don't want to go over that if you're going to be pressure washing your car, because anything higher than that, you can damage your paint or just simply blow it right off if the pressure washer has enough power. So keep it in that range, but then you also need to make sure that you look at the GPM or the gallons per minute that specific pressure washer, shoots water out, because they're all different. And so for the foam cannon to work correctly, it needs to be in a specific, area. So the pressure I have is the AR Blue Clean, one of those models. So I'll link you in the description if you want to take a peek at it. It has 2000 PSI and it shoots water out at 1.4 GPM. And so basically, you need to make sure that your foam cannon is set up to, basically handle that much power or less power. And so basically, it doesn't really matter which foam cannon you have. I have this Twinkle Star one that got some pretty good reviews on Amazon, but it's super cheap. It was only $16. And so don't worry about the foam cannon, but the actual foam cannon you buy. But the important part is the orifice inside the foam cannon. So that's where you're really going to get a lot of foam, is the specs with your orifice need to match up. And one other note too, before I forget, and basically while we're talking about being eco-friendly and all that stuff, so mine does 1.4. Your average pressure washer does about 1.7, around that area, per minute. And so basically, if you compare that to your normal hose, if you wash your car with your hose, a normal hose shoots out about 7 GPM a minute. So you are using a lot less water using a pressure washer, and you're getting that little burst of water that you're getting shot at the car is cleaning the car way better than just shooting a whole bunch of low pressure water at the car. So I have some stats from MTM Hydro, which is they make a foam cannon that's really popular. And so basically, their foam cannon comes with a 1.25 millimeter orifice, and that's pretty much the standard orifice for pretty much a lot of foam cannons. And so the reason why there's issues with this is because if you have a gas pressure washer, it's going to produce enough power for the 1.25. And so basically what was happening is people are becoming eco-friendly, and they're buying these electric pressure washers that don't have that much power. And so the ones that they're buying can't handle, it doesn't produce enough GPM for this bigger 1.25 orifice. So the 1.25 orifice, you need 1.8 GPM and 1100 PSI. So the PSI part is fine, but it's the GPM that's important. And so basically, if you remember from just a second ago, I said mine gets 1.4 GPM. So if I were to have a 1.25 in my foam cannon, I'm not going to get those thick, suds, because it can't handle it. So it's going to be the combination is not going to be correct. So what a lot of people will do, and I actually have a tutorial that's going to be in this video on how to do this, is to change out the orifice to a 1.1 millimeter. So that's basically, if you have an electric pressure washer, the 1.1 millimeter is the orifice you want to get. So same thing, you still need 1100 PSI, which is not a problem, but this one requires only 1.4 GPM to work correctly. And so, as I mentioned, mine is a 1.4, so it works fine for this one. So that's another thing that you you need to be careful of when you're, doing your research for a pressure washer and a foam cannon. You have to, these are the two big things in order for you to get some really good, thick, foamy suds. Hey guys, so here's the foam cannon mod. So here's foam cannon. This is actually my 1.25 orifice, but I'll show you how to take it out. So if you want to put in the 1.1, you can. It'd be nice if it would focus. Anyway, let's see if I can get it to focus in a second. So, you take your foam cannon here. And basically, what you want to do is you've got this piece here, and the orifice is actually inside that. So take your crescent wrench, and all you need to do is just crack this open, just like that. All right. And then the orifice is inside here, so I'm going to unscrew that. So, there you go. So that's the 1.1 orifice in there. And so here's the 1.25. Let's see if I can get a closer picture. So let's see. I'm not sure if you can see that, but you can definitely tell the difference between the two sizes. And so basically, if we take it out, so take your flathead, and then all you need to do is just put it in there and crack it loose. Let's see. This way. There we go. Focus. There we go. And then crack it loose, and then just... No, that's not going to do it. Unscrew it here like this. It keeps focusing on the wrong place. Sorry about that. And so once you unscrew it, you can just dump out the orifice. And all you need to do is just put the other one in the correct way like that. And then just screw it in. And then you get the point. Screw that in, and then put this back in and screw that in as well. And that's the mod, which will give you way thicker foam, because these electric pressure washers don't have as much power as the old gas ones. And so that's the problem with these foam cannons, is most of the time they just assume you have a gas pressure washer, which has way more power. But because the electric pressure washers don't have as much power, they need a smaller orifice to basically compensate for that, for the bigger hole in the bigger orifice. So this smaller one compensates for that, and will still give you that thick foam if you have a less powerful pressure washer. Now, on the contrary, if you have like a gas pressure washer and you put in the 1.1 millimeter, basically what's probably going to happen is your foam cannon is probably going to pulsate, because there's just too much power for that small hole. So basically, if that happens, then you just want to switch it back to the 1.25, and it shouldn't do that anymore. So that's just a heads up if you have a really powerful pressure washer. Another important thing is the soap you're using. So basically, I have the Chemical Guys Honeydew soap, snow foam soap, which I think is super popular. If you watch pretty much any Chemical Guys or basically any videos about foam cannons, they're going to be using this soap. It's just a really popular one. So it's made specifically for foam cannons. So it's going to help you get those thick foamy suds. Another brand is Adams. They have a lot of car products and detailing products. They have some really good foam cannon soaps as well. Or another one is Trinova. They make foam cannons, and they have foam cannon soap, which is really good as well. So those are some of the brands that you can look at if you want to get a foam cannon specific soap. So obviously, if you just use your like turtle wax, whatever soap that you would just put in your bucket, it's probably not going to work as well. And so that could be part of your issue as well. Even the water you're using could be an issue why you're not getting those thick foamy suds. So basically, you should be using warmer water, not quite hot, but like pretty warm water in your foam cannon before you mix your foam and soap together. And so what the warmer water does is it helps aerate the soap, and that way it'll basically give you that those thick foamy suds when it comes out of the actual foam cannon. Also make sure that on your foam cannon setting on the top that you turn it all the way clockwise or all the way minus. And what that does is that lets it lets through the least amount of water, and that's what you want because you want more air to go through, because that also helps make the soap nice and fluffy when it hits your car. When you're mixing your water and soap, definitely put the water in first, and then put the soap in there. So basically, for chemical guys, for my specific snow foam, honeydew foam cannon soap, they recommend putting in 900 milliliters. So basically my can, and pretty much the standard can, is 1 liter. So they recommend putting in 900 milliliters of water and then 3 ounces of soap. So of course we've got standard and metric mix. So basically 3 ounces comes out to be about 90 milliliters. So it's like one line pretty much is 100 milliliters. So I almost just put it in there and just put a little extra. It's okay. And so that's the ratio. And then obviously if you don't want to fill up your whole foam cannon bottle all the way up, then just prorate based on those settings. Also, when you're doing this mix, notice that I did mention put the water in first. So you want to put the water in and then the soap, and then you don't want to shake it. So you want to swirl. That way the water and the soap mix, but it doesn't get all bubbly inside the foam cannon bottle, because if it gets all bubbly inside there, that's not going to do you any good, and that's just going to kind of mess you up when you're actually trying to shoot the soap onto the car. So keep that in mind when you're mixing the two ingredients together. And if all those don't work, it's possible that your foam cannon might just be clogged. So one thing you can try to do to avoid this, and before this happens, is make sure that you shoot clean water through your foam cannon after you're done, so that way there's not soap and stuff stuck in there that could clog it. And also, if you have hard water, there could be that too, because the calcium buildup from hard water could be stuck in your actual foam cannon, and if that's the case, you might need to maintenance it and clear it out so it has like a fresh line, straight line to go through, so the water and soap can get through without getting all clogged up. And last but not least, if all those fail, the mesh filter inside your foam cannon could be messed up as well, and so you might need to replace that as well. I don't have a tutorial on that, but it's not super hard. All you do is there's this one pin that you knock out with like a punch, and then you take off the the twisty part that basically adjusts the spread of your foam cannon, and then basically the mesh thing should be right there that you can take out and switch. Hopefully one or more of these tips helped you get those thick foamy sleds you were looking for. Let me know in the comments which one helped you. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.